I started working with Mitch back in early high school ages. I was an athlete playing basketball and track, trying to, just get ready for the seasons. And he really helped me out with, working on movements and how to correctly do my form and really get me ready for the season. And even just seeing now that I don't play basketball or track anymore, and now I transitioned into more powerlifting and heavy lifting, you can just see how he can understand how to train from an athlete's perspective into all different kinds of perspectives.
Ben and I don't train together in person. He'll use my garage here sometimes, but for the most part, he's off on his own at his own commercial gym. All of his workouts he's given through TrueCoach, which is the app the coaches here at Powertrain use. So we'll kind of go into a couple questions here that some people have asked me. I'll kind of let Ben explain first, and then I'll give my answer. So how is my programming being done based on the equipment I need? So how am I programming for you when you're at Factory Fitness and I'm not here?
At first, I would tell you all the equipment I do have, and so you understand what you can work with. And one of the things I like about your training is how flexible you are with understanding what movements, even though it's not the same weight, or we don't have the same equipment, what movements really matter, and you can really understand how to make it work, and you're flexible with having to do all that.
I think with Ben, especially since he'll work out here in my garage sometimes, he'll work out at his commercial gym sometimes, is I'll just program for him based off of Factory Fitness, but every once in a while I'll say, hey, I'm gonna be at the garage, so I don't have access to whatever, and then from there it's just, number one is Ben is a smart enough guy to make that adjustment himself if he knows he's gonna be at a different gym. But on the other end, it's just a good communication between coach and client. And that's not, that ranges from someone who's at a commercial gym all the way down to someone who just has a few pieces of equipment in their garage or in their basement. Your coach is going to be dedicated to tailoring a program based on your needs and coupling that with what you have access to. So for an individual who signs up for the remote-based coaching, one of the first things that you'll receive is an equipment checklist, and it has a drop-down menu. And there's a lot of options on there, but we want to make sure that we have everything organized for you. So it'll ask you, do you have barbells, do you have plates, do you have dumbbells, do you have kettlebells? It'll ask you about cardio equipment, do you have access to a track, to a pool, to a road bike? It'll ask about anything and everything you can think of. You go through, you put your check marks on it, and then that goes back to your coach, and your coach will save that in your information in the TrueCoach to make sure that your coach is never programming anything, any type of equipment that you don't have access to.
The app works pretty well. When you open it up, you'll see your weekly workouts. So whether you're working three days a week, 4 days a week, whatever. So on 4 days, I'll see my Monday, Tuesday, rest day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it'll show a preview of the workout, and you click on it, your Monday, you'll click on it, and your workout comes up. Then you'll click on that individual lift, which would be, I click on snatch, and then it'll just say you type in whatever you want right there. You click it on, you type in my first set, I did 100 pounds, I did it for 2 reps. And then if you record yourself, if you wanted to record yourself and make sure and send him your form. There's also direct messaging to Mitch, if you just want to direct that message to your coach or whatever. There's the nutrition plans on there and everything like that. So it's all pretty straightforward and described pretty well.
The remote-based option is for individuals who are based remotely, right? So whether that's individuals like myself who have access to an at-home gym, whether a basement gym or garage gym, but more people are gonna just be those individuals like Ben who work at a commercial gym. The app is very user-friendly, both on the coach's side and on the athlete or client side. I think one thing to understand is your coach isn't just creating some templated program a month at a time. I program for my athletes and my clients 1 week out, and so that gives me the ability to make sure that we're tailoring everything to the individual's needs. So I'll use Ben here as an example. Ben has a little bit of shoulder pain. And so if I were to just program a month out and he's on week 1, now just for an entire month, he's sort of, either avoiding that exercise, or he's just suffering through it, or, there's some disconnect between client and coach. So when we program for you a week at a time, we're making sure that Ben reaches out, he says, hey, my shoulder hurts, and now we have that open discussion. Here's some things that we can do to help with that pain. Let's talk about it at a deeper level. When does it hurt? Why does it hurt? How long has it been hurting? And then on the coach's end, I can go in that next week and make sure, okay, instead of doing a ton of shoulder work, we're going to do something else. Or instead of doing some jerks, we're going to do some more strict overhead work. So understand that the app is just a means for you to communicate with your coach. The app is not what you're paying for. You're paying for that one-on-one relationship with your coach.
So a lot of times, like when I'm doing movements or like snatching, if I post a video and then the next day he goes through all my lists and he's watched that video, he'll go through and be like, this is what you did well, this is what we can work on, whether it's just my feet moving a little bit too much, just or on my toes, or I'm back too far, or locking my arms out. He does a really good job of explaining, so I can really understand and picture what it's supposed to look like.
We sort of have these fears of, well, what if I'm doing an exercise wrong? That's why I go to a personal trainer or a coach. They make sure that I'm doing the movements right. So in the True Coach, your coach is not just programming for you, but you have 2 ways of making sure that you're doing an exercise right. Number 1, every exercise is gonna come with a video. So your coach is gonna upload a video. That's number 1. Number 2 is individuals who are unsure about a movement or are new to training, you're going to receive a ton of notes from your coach. So Ben's been talking a lot about the snatch. You're not just gonna get a video of someone snatching and your sets and reps, but you're gonna get your coach's notes going over things that we're looking for. So an example would be, all right, when you get that snatch, I want your chin up, I want your butt down, I want you to have a full, long pull up to your thighs. When you get to your thighs, I really want you to extend up and punch through that ceiling. And each client is going to receive different notes depending on their goals, depending on their communication style, depending on where they're at in their fitness journey. So again, everything is tailored to that individual, and your coach is going to make sure that from day 1 you're set up for success. We kind of believe in giving too much information up front in those first couple weeks, just so you're not walking into that gym with any type of question, which a lot of times can cause a little bit of panic. So we want to make sure that you're ready to go before you even step foot in that gym. Your coaches have several ways of communicating with you. Number 1 is through messaging. So if you have a message right then and there in your workout, just pull up the messaging app, shoot your coach a message. Your coach will get back to you as soon as you can. Luckily for Ben, Ben works out pretty much during the times where I'm in my office hours, so I get pinged when he's there, and I can answer him right away. For those of us who aren't lucky enough to catch our coach during their office hours, there is just a commenting section. So you finish your workout, you weren't sure about something, or you've posted a video within 24 hours, your coach is going to be on there making some type of comment where we can either talk adjustments, we can talk about any questions you might have, or just also keeping you pumped up, making sure you know that you're doing things right, you're doing things well. I think that goes a long way for a lot of us, just to know that someone's in your corner kind of pumping you up. You're the one paying for the coaching, you're the boss, your coach is not the boss. So if you only want someone to be programming for you 3 days a week and you want to do your own thing on the other days, that's perfectly fine. My only suggestion would be just to communicate with your coach, because the way that we kind of fall into burnout or exhaustion or just kind of getting run down from a program is typically when we're just doing too much or too intense or too frequently, right? And so how do I avoid that is make sure I'm just not keeping my coach in the dark. So if I have a client who comes to me and says, hey, I want you to program for me Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they're not telling me that they're training for a full marathon on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's where we can fall into issues versus if you're just open with your coach, let them know what you're doing. Your coach is, number one, going to love to help. Number two is going to absolutely respect, that he or she doesn't need to program absolutely everything for you. So please don't think that if you hire a coach here at Powertrain that they have to take over all of your training and fitness journey. Use us as much or as little as you need.
So being remote, it's probably the best thing is the flexibility. So obviously if you want to train one-on-one, you have to agree with your coach to be here at a certain time. Like Tuesday, I gotta be here at 11 a.m. Like there's no like, hey, 5 minutes before, can I move it to 12? And like, so if something comes up, it can be hard sometimes to rearrange that or do anything like that. But like for me, since I'm remote, I can just be like, oh, I can't be there at 11. It's okay, I'll be there at 12, I'll go at 12:30. But nothing changes for me as long as workout and whatever else. So it's really good flexibility wise if you're a busy person, a busy schedule. Also, if you don't like to work out in front of people, or like you're more of a lone person and you just like to get in there, be by yourself, get your stuff done, perfect for you because you don't have to have anybody around you or see you watching you. You can just take a short clip, send it to them, and that's it. Like you don't got to do any of that. So those are probably the biggest points.
I believe for many of us, we kind of start to think in terms of, is this for an athlete? Is this for a stay-at-home mom? Is this for a business person who is a sport? Let's kind of throw that aside. And to me, I look at it as an archetype of an individual who has a very busy schedule. Doesn't matter what their training background is. An individual who has access to a commercial gym or a garage gym or a basement gym. Typically what we see is individuals who are either competent in exercise, so they've had the weight room experience in high school or college, or just have been on their own training for a while. But with that being said, we also have tons of clients who have come to us with no training background. And so that's the individual who just kind of wants to take their fitness journey into their own hands, isn't really looking for someone to come in and be with them in person, but they trust in their coach enough to know that the program that's being delivered to them is gonna have them set up for success, answering their questions before they're even asked, making sure that nothing's missing, making sure that there's quick and fluid communication. I've been coaching for 13 years now, 12, 13 years, and I think what we're seeing, I don't ever think in-person coaching is going away. Our coaches on site at Powertrain do a phenomenal job, but I have seen a trend where more and more people are just embracing the busyness of life. And as we get kids, we're rushing them from practice to practice, and even us as adults, my wife and I, we have a kid, but it's not just all revolving around him. We both also have things that we want to do, hobbies, interests, etc. And so this remote-based program is definitely helpful for the individual who lives that extremely busy lifestyle, and it is very hard to commit to a specific hour during the day. In fact, many times for a lot of my clients, if we have them programmed on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they might wind up working out on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday just because life gets so hectic. So your workouts are already there, they never go away. You're not having to cancel any sessions with a coach. So I think a lot of that is just something to consider, especially if you're a busy person, and definitely, fitness is a priority, but you're finding it hard to schedule a time with your coach. So.